And you can rest assured that at night, I'll be resting up for the next day's work, hard day of work. But at night, I certainly will not be taking pictures of myself. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you. My values represent the people of the city of New York, not this self-pleasuring freak. Well, he is. He is. It's as simple as that.
Those some of the comments from a recent mayoral forum here, and by freak they were talking, of course, you get about Anthony Weiner, but you also saw the response there from the crowd, a little bit of sympathy. But let's bring in our panel right now. Dominic, of course, who you just heard from last segment. Dorian Davis, journalism professor at Marymount Manhattan College, is also a contributor for WNYC. Richard St. Paul, Republican strategist and a former vice chair for the National Black Republican Association. Listen, he's doing, I guess, what he has to do. Talking about Anthony Weiner, if he wants to stay in the race here, he's going to get free press. But I don't understand the messaging in that, been there, done that, you've seen this, let's move on, when he can't agree on what the facts are. Do you guys remember a train wreck like this playing out in slow motion in recent memory?
In New York City, no. But, you know, I read somewhere, it's interesting Dominic said that in your mind, Weiner really thinks he's going to win this, because I think, and I've read some other articles to this effect, that maybe this is a dress rehearsal for an actual 2017 run to get the scandals out of the way. And if that's the case, then it's kind of a genius strategy to let the train wreck play out so that you have all your baggage already opened up for the public by the time you really go.
I've heard it too, Dorian, but the argument was, when people talked about that you need to get one out of the way, he would have done what Spitzer did, which is he would have run for a lower profile race. Spitzer hasn't been raked over the coals here because he's running for controller. People can barely spell it, let alone tell you what it does. Mayor, you knew you were going to get the Klieg legs on this. Now, the fact that he actually had a fighting chance until the recent revelations came out against him, that surprised a lot of people, but or at least me. But you don't run for mayor thinking that you'll just get out of the way. He's crippled himself. I don't see how you come back from this. You disagree?
Yeah, well, you never know what the voters are going to do. They certainly voted a lot of people in, including dead people, into office around the country. So you never know what's going to happen. But listen, I think you're done with your campaign when you have nothing to add to the conversation. I was at the Southeast Queens debate last night, and mostly
that's where we heard,
crowd.
we just played this clips from both Mr. Lieu and Mr. McDonald.
Exactly. Mostly African-American crowd. They received him very well. They received his message very well. So he's certainly adding to the conversation. When it becomes a problem that his sexting, overtakes any conversation about what the next mayor is going to do, then he needs to step out the race.
We're there though already, aren't we?
Well, if we hear one more thing about sexting, yes, but this is dying down.
Anybody,
with 4 or 5 weeks left.
Anybody thinks we're not going to hear another story on the sexting?
No, I think we will. But, to some extent, I kind of think this whole campaign, the idea that he could win in the first place, is kind of a media construct. Because I looked at the polls, the 12 polls that have been conducted since Weiner entered the race. Christine Quinn has been ahead in 9, including 3 of the last 4, which leads me to think he can't possibly think that he is going to pull this out.
I don't think he's going to win.
But somebody else made another point, Dominic, and you're there. Who's going to hire him now? And what else does he have to do? The point is, there is no second act here. He's got nothing to lose. The only thing he could lose is if his spouse says, you don't get out tomorrow, I'm leaving you. With the exception of that, what's his downside to stay in? I didn't really put that together till yesterday, and I said, you know what? It's a valid point. He's unhireable at this point, and he's unelectable, but he might as well finish the race. Who knows what could happen?
But Richard, you know what's sort of ironic? Sitting here at the table with you gentlemen, all of us are assessing his campaign, and we basically say he has 0 chance of becoming the Democratic nominee. But when you're in the 11th floor of his Fifth Avenue campaign headquarters, you start drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm telling you, it's weird. First of all, I didn't see any newspapers. So you don't
let the facts get in the way of a good story.
There are no reminders, Right. And I'm telling you, the guy is walking around that office like he's the mayor, and his entire entourage is behind him. It's almost like no scandal exists.
Yeah, we've seen in this country people survive sex scandals, marital affairs from Republicans and Democrats. So,
But
that's
wouldn't you
certainly-
agree with me, Richard? This isn't anymore, at least for me, this isn't a sex scandal anymore. And to me, it doesn't matter the pictures anymore. It's that this could be the most reckless, completely out of control candidate I've seen, that I have no faith anymore in anything he says. To do what he did, we've had lying, we've had cheating, we've had guys, politicians who run around, and we will till the end of time. I get that. But to me, it's not about the pictures of screwing around. It's not my business. What is, though, is this guy asked me to trust him, that I got it in my rearview mirror, I'm good. And for him to be so insane that he thought he could run and this wouldn't come out, and he posted these pictures again, and now he's telling me, and in our own interview with Dominic Carter, he can't even figure out the dates of when he really stopped the thing. How stupid do you think I am? I think a lot of people feel the way I do.
Let me say this. I don't think Weiner can get out of his own way. I think he does have a serious problem. And I'll take it back. I told you I was at the Southeast Queens event yesterday where he was speaking. He gets his mic is cut off. The moderator hands him a mic and he says, "Oh, this is the Magic Mike." Now, we all recall Magic Mike is a show about basically male strippers. There's something fundamentally in his mind that he can't get out of his own way. So I think he definitely has some serious issues. I don't think he even knew he said this.
Do you think anybody short of his wife can get him to get out? I know a lot of people would like him to get out. Forget about people who are worried that he's still getting 16% from the last poll. I'm talking about that he's harming. I mean, there's actually important stuff you got to figure out before we pick the next mayor. We're not talking about any of that stuff. And more than that, you've got obviously national, the Clintons don't want this going on. It's harming the brand here, even if this thing will be over in a month and a half. Could he get pushed out conceivably between now and then, that there'd be enough pressure that he says, I don't need this in my life?
He's not going. He looks at it this way. He feels that he doesn't have anything to lose, and that's one of the things we talk about in part two. We ask him about the Clintons, looking at Hillary there right now with his wife Huma. Weiner said point blank, when I asked him this question, you'll see it on Monday, he says, neither Clinton has reached out to me. No one has asked me to do anything. Point blank, that's his answer. Richard, the guy is not going anywhere. It doesn't matter what you, me, any of us say. The more we attack and go after him, the more he's digging in his heels. He's going to finish this race, and I agree with you. Maybe don't write him off because he's still playing well. He's no, wait, Richard. He's not going to win the nomination, but don't write him off in terms of the black vote. His show is selling quite well. We may think that he's a little cuckoo, but his show is selling quite well.
Dorian?
Don't write him off for 2017.
No, but that won't work either. You know why? Here's why he ran now. Here's why Spitzer ran now. There will be Democrats in all those offices. You can't challenge a fellow incumbent and expect to have a career. So the timing was, like the reason why Obama ran in 08, the timing was right. The timing was right now. The next time around, who's he going to challenge? There'll be Democrats in all those seats. Who's he going to challenge?
Besides, I don't think he can hold out some sexting scandal till 2017. So I'm telling you, this is still in his system.
Yeah.
That's another thing we talked to him about, the future and what he's doing on the internet.
Well, that is going to be coming up on Monday with the second part of the interview. Great job, Dominic. Thank you. Okay. When we come back, we're going to switch gears. It was, I guess, a sports story, but it's about a lot more than that. And it's also about a name most of you had never heard of, Riley Cooper, a wide receiver for the Eagles that you see there, caught off the field saying the N-word. And now the Eagles excused him from camp here, focus on counseling. They all go to counseling as soon as you do anything, it seems nowadays. But more than that, the question was, he got a fine here, but should that have been the only punishment? And what about how much power we're putting to that certain word? We're going to talk about all that after this. Stay with us.